It's finally here! What we've all been waiting for is finally here. EU4's got a new update, and this time it's focused on Sweden. Not surprising because Paradox is located in Sweden, and this is rumored to be one of the last few updates that they're going to come out with before they move on to, again, the rumored EU5. But one of the awesome things about this, you'll notice here they've got a lot of focus on Sweden, Charles the 12th, and I'll quickly click that, but we're going to go into the changelog here, into the spoiler section. So just a heads up for those of you who don't want to know any spoilers coming out, we'll be going to that. But before, if any of you do go, what we're going to be doing today, I'm actually going to be streaming for as much as possible, going through everything that's happening on this update. So please check by twitch.tv/YetiKings. Now, if we look at the changelog, this is going to be really important for any of you who are deciding which nation to play for today. The biggest ones that stand out to me, highlighting here, you can see that ones that got really the most mission updates are the Livonian Order, Teutonic Order, Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. So no big surprise on the last three there. That's the main focus is about Scandinavia. But the nice thing is Teutonic Order has some really great missions, and I'm probably going to play that as my first nation. But you have the ability even to go Christian Horde, so that is super exciting, one that I want to do. But lots of great things. You can even see they have a mission tree for Scandinavia, actually. I just noticed that. So 21 missions there, and heck, even if you wanted to go down the Poland and Commonwealth path, there's 41 missions. So not just saying that it's all focused on these areas, but there's a lot as far as Poland and even Lithuania have to offer. So I've seen some YouTubers that have done Lithuania first and then move into Commonwealth, and some argue that's the better path, whereas others are thinking Poland to Commonwealth. Not sure yet which one's better. The jury's not out on that one, but again, we're going to focus on Teutonic Order. So I'm just going to go through some of the main updates that I've seen here that you'll want to know before playing today. One of the big things here, added a new government tier for monarchies, republics, and theocracies about the economics in your state. So 12 unique government reforms in total. So that should be exciting. A bunch of reforms. We'd love to see that, but you can even see here for all of them, there's a ton of different updates there. I also am really excited about this invite to join HRE, diplomatic action. So Austria, all of a sudden, having, if you're playing as Austria or playing as HRE, that's pretty big, the fact that you can now invite them. I don't know how hard they're going to make it to actually invite a member to join the HRE, but now instead of having to do a war to expand empire, you might just have to do a few things like influence nation, maybe give them imperial grace. Well, sorry, can't do imperial grace because they're not in the HRE yet, but you know what I mean. Influence nation, send them gifts, improve relations. You might be able to just diplomatically get them to join the HRE and blob that way. So that's super, super cool. Some reworks on ideas. Also, I know that they really tried to make it so naval doctrine, naval trade, maritime ideas are better. Pretty much all ideas got better except for economic and quantity, because those were the meta. That was what everyone was doing for the development cost reduction. Could get you 30% reduction in development with the idea plus the policy. So you could get 30% reduction in development with the policy plus the idea. So that was something to look forward to, but they've decided to change that. So you'll notice here even some of the changes here. HRE provinces no longer to be added to trade companies. Interesting. I almost thought that was the case already. I think what it is, I think I know exactly what this is. When you added a territory to the HRE, it wouldn't allow you to add trade companies before this patch, but there was a way that you could go to the trade region and add all nodes in that region to that trade company. So I think maybe they're trying to get around that and say you have to pick one or the other. You can't do both, which is fine. This is overpowered. State House no longer requiring an open building slot. that means that you can spam those to reduce your gov capacity cost, not having to worry about what it'll do to your building slots. So that's awesome. Also reduces local governing costs by 15% and local governing increase cost by -10. Governing modifiers are doubled when constructed on a paper, gems, or glass province. So really important for Bohemia and some of those regions that have a lot of, I think they have glass and gems, if I remember right, and paper. Courthouses and town halls was actually the one I was thinking of there as well, where it doesn't require a building slot, so that's great. This is interesting. The Polish struggle for royal power is now a much more difficult disaster, and the privilege Golden Liberty will only be removed via a disaster or by having a certain amount of absolutism after 1615. Interesting. So you need to make sure you prioritize absolutism. Very good to know if I do a Poland run, or if any of you do a Poland run. So it seems like this is about government reforms a lot, so they just change it to make it so there's different advantages, which I've seen some YouTubers that have picked different reforms. Like manpower was the meta, I think, for the second level, but I think now there might be one that helps with... I know it was around manpower, I just can't remember what it was, but I remember it was affecting like slack in recruits or something. So it was kind of giving you manpower that way as well, but there's more coming to that. And 5% tech cost instead of the innovativeness gain. This is big for military when it comes to battling, and I know a lot of the mechanics are changing a bit, but it says here regiments that reach 0 strength or 0 morale during battle now retreat immediately. So you pretty much are... Oh, and also let's go to the next part here. Deployed troops will take daily morale damage equal to 1% of the average max morale of enemy troops. Insufficient support cavalry penalty now increases in steps and is based on all front units. I'd like to know more about what this actually means. Will it mean that we need to have cavalry now? Before everyone would just delete it and run without cavalry, unless you're playing like the Winged Hussars of Poland and those things, but I don't know, maybe we need to have cavalry now, and they're kind of forcing us with the penalty there. Reserve troops take daily morale damage equal to 2% of the average max morale of any troops. Backline can only reinforce 2 regiments per day, plus 2 maneuver pips of commanding general. Rebalance artillery pips to be more tactically interesting and contribute less to prolonged battles. Interesting. So what I'm kind of reading from this is reinforcements are going to be more important. You're going to need to make sure that you don't just throw your whole stack in at a battle. You're going to need to probably make sure that you have just a bit more than your combat width of units on the front line, so infantry. And then you're probably going to want to have like backups and backups of units that you can just keep pushing in, because that'll help with not only regiments reaching 0 to retreating, so you can push the new guys in, but also this reduction here between deployed and reserved. I'm not 100% sure on that part, but I think that's going to be a factor there. Very interesting. Claiming a naval hegemony no longer requires you to have 250 heavy ships, but 500 ships of all kinds in total. That's going to make this much easier to get. 250 heavy ships is tricky. I believe it's 50 ducats per heavy ship. So quick maths, that's 1,250 ducats. I have that right? Yeah. It's expensive to do that. Plus the regular maintenance is high. Whereas 500 ships of all kinds, you could get cheaper ships like transports and galleys and stuff. When you get big, you're gonna just get this naturally. So that's really good to see. Wow. Infertile personality now decreases chance of new heir by 50% instead of 25. Oh, that's a death sentence. That's not good. Okay, being over governing capacity now decreases administrative efficiency. For every 2% over governing capacity, you lose 1% in efficiency. Oh, this is really cool. Economic hegemon now gives -5% development cost modifier. I believe before it was something different. So I think it's going from goods produced modifier to development. I think that's what it is, but we'll get confirmation on that too. AI is now better evaluating when to annex integrate. We'll see about that. Fixed a bug where AI helped allies with rebels even when at peace. Hey, that was a great bug. We liked that one. AI sometimes deleted all forts after a bad war. Oof. Did they actually do that? That's a crazy way to expand. Like, just reading these notes. Fixed multiple cases of AI subjects being stupid when set to passive or defensive. What? They actually put that in the notes? They were being stupid? Oh man. So basically they're trying to say they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. Got it. I have never seen that in a patch note before. I don't know if any of you guys have. Let me know in the comments if you have. Fixed a bug. This was a really annoying bug where you couldn't, when you go to repay alone, it's grayed out and you couldn't see. Yeah, repay loan button is no longer grayed out. So basically it was just annoying. You didn't know what loans you had when they're due. You had to like go to a different area. So that's a good fix. I noticed this bug a lot. Fixed bug that Carpet Siege Army could complain about enemy troops when it just couldn't path to province. I notice that all the time, where I'd have guys complaining about that when I have them set to auto Carpet Siege. By the way, if you haven't been doing that, when you're doing a war and you've pushed the enemy back, great idea to have your single stack set to automatically siege, and they'll get all the small ones so you don't have to be micromanaging them as much. Way easier way to do it, so highly recommend that. But before, they used to randomly get scared. Okay, that's good to know for our campaign. What? What? This is crazy. The Teutonic Order and Livonian Order are allowed to form Jerusalem if they manage to get there before the Age of Absolutism. Oh. I love that they had to add this because we know someone clearly did this. The Renaissance now has a fallback date. It would now always spawn in 1475 if Italy is razed to the ground by a horde. You know somebody did that. And prevented the institution from spawning. Also, a very big shout out to these YouTubers that were given the chance by Paradox to create videos for each of these nations. Really interesting to see that they actually strategically, before releasing this, assigned each YouTuber / Twitch streamer a specific nation. So Slovakia, Poland, that makes sense. Ludi, Teutonic Order, was really good. His video he made was really informative, I thought, and we're going to be using it as a bit of a guide for our run, but maybe potentially changing up, but I definitely learned a few things from him. So very cool what he's been doing there. I didn't see social streamers on here, which I thought was interesting because they definitely put a video out, but he tried to do kind of the Teutonic Order but didn't read the missions fully, so he missed a major part of skipping a disaster at the very beginning of his video. Spoiler alert, but you can go check his video out. Before I end this video, I just wanted to go back to the blog post update on May 3rd by Paradox, where they show the Teutonic missions. You'll notice one of the big updates as well when you do your preparation for your first war, for your first campaign, that they now have branching missions. So what that means is you'll be able to, when you pick or when you complete one of the missions here, it'll now give you a choice whether you want to go option A, option B, and sometimes option C. Based off your choice that you pick, that's going to change the missions that happen below that. So what we're going to probably be doing is getting to this point here where we'll ask the Emperor to join the HRE, and then go down the path to become the time of Crusades is either over or we need to continue. We're probably going to do the we need to continue this time against the heretics. Now, this is the last thing I wanted to show you before I end this, but when you get to the final stages of this mission tree, you'll get this part here about Crusader Order. And then when you get down here, you unlock the Holy Horde government reform. So that's very cool. You can raise provinces as a Christian nation, something never been possible before in EU4. So that's something that I'm super excited. We're going to definitely be trying to go this route just for the roleplay. Although it didn't happen in history this way, but raising works a little bit differently. So that's something to note. You can only raise heathen and heretic provinces, and you gain 1 devotion for each development raised. Additionally, because you get this reform rather late, the decrease of the monarch power starts at base tech 12 instead of 3. So I think you still get monarch power from raising, but you also gain 1 devotion for each 3 development phase. So that's really cool. I don't have anything else to say there, but I think that's really cool, and I hope to see you guys again. Go to twitch.com/TheEddieKings. We're gonna be streaming today as much as we possibly can, so hope to see you there. Bye.